Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Voice of Team Member informational webinar. With me is Peggy Pasterchik. She is our LMS administrator who will be helping us better understand how our team members will access the LMS. Before that, we are going to hear from Diane Moore, who is responsible for the Voice of Team Member survey that's going out June 4th. Okay, so without further ado, I will hand it over to Diane, who will bring us through this PowerPoint presentation on the Voice of Team Member.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. How are you? So as Victor mentioned, we are embarking on a first wave, or our baseline wave in 2019, the Voice of Team Member Satisfaction Survey. This survey, important to know, is only for those team members who reside in a resort operations or Mark Waltrip's area. They are for those who work obviously at the resort and the corporate locations. So again, only Mark Waltrip's area resort operation team members will complete the survey. Not taking the survey or anyone related to sales, either at the corporate or resort location, sales support, back of house. It does not include marketing, OPC, telemarketing over at Lake Eleanor and so forth. It does include Jared Saff's area because he obviously reports into Mark. So the Ocoee office will be taking the survey and so forth. So again, very important just to know only resort operation team members will complete the survey. Or technical error.
There we go.
Thank you. Okay. Under Medallia, just like we do the guest experience, the survey data collection will be captured through Medallia. Medallia has very strict rules around confidentiality. So the survey is confidential. All answers will not be traced back to an individual team member. Furthermore, in Medallia, do keep it confidential. If we have 5 or fewer responses for a department, it would not happen at a property level, but for a department, you will not be able to see those responses because we don't want someone trying to tie back a person's open-ended comments or even how they answer closed-ended question back to a certain team member, fear of retribution. So again, the survey is completely confidential. We do have some departments. I know it's a question that was bubbled up yesterday, that we have some smaller departments. Just like the other 2 team member surveys, we had group departments. We did like group departments, and that's been in place now for the past few months. The survey, another important step to understand, the survey will be hosted, and I emphasize the word hosted, on the Learning Management System, or LMS, the acronym LMS, and Peggy will talk about that in a second. But just like the guest experience and the other 2 team member surveys, all data is stored in the Medallia cloud. So again, nothing will be tied back to the team member. And I already mentioned this again, results will only be shown for 5 or more team members who complete the survey. Then you'll be able to see the results. So if you don't see any data, that means there are fewer than 5 people who responded to that area.
Diane, can I ask you a quick question on that part of the 5 people? I have 3 departments out of my total 5 departments that are under 5 people. Would I still see the total for the resort, or I see
So Michael, as I just mentioned, we have group departments. So those group departments, like maybe it's activities or like smaller departments, they're grouped together with like departments. So you will see South Beach overall. But if you have departments with fewer than 5 or less people, team members, you're not going to see the results for that individual department, but you will see for South Beach overall.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, because we have, and I cannot change that. If you have been asked about that, people don't like it. I can have no control over that. That's how Medallia structures confidentiality. So just so you know.
Okay, no problem. I understand.
Okay, perfect. The company intranet, Michelle Klokowski here in Orlando area. You don't see it here, but on this page you're looking at right now, you see where it says favorite apps. That real estate area right there, we have a nice visual, very subtle coffee cup. Want to hear from you. It's just very not invasive. Just ask, this resort operations annual team member satisfaction survey is now available for you to complete. So they can click on that link, and then that will redirect them to the LMS site. And Peggy will talk about that in a second, where they can access the survey. So again, this is only open to resort operations. So if somebody outside of resort operations tries to go there, they're not going to be able to access the survey. So that's one way we're managing it. And the other thing I want to mention as well, sort of goes around confidentiality, but more around called ballot stuffing. The research world, the survey link that we've created is a unique link, meaning that once the survey is completed, and critical that they hit the submit button after the last question, and please convey that you have to hit the submit button after the last survey question, that you cannot retake the survey. The link will be broken, will not allow you to retake the survey to try to kind of, I doubt people will do that, but it's just a safety protocol that we put in place. But you have to hit submit, so the data is captured in the Medallia cloud, so we have that information. Any questions on this page?
Good morning, this is Carlos.
Yes. Hi, Carl.
With the breaking of the link, I have multiple team members that I was assuming I was going to use Cynthia Negron's login, housekeeping, just to have employees take the survey one by one.
No, this is not yet. And Peggy will talk to that, but Carlos, a good question. So unlike the other two, the new hire process in the first 30 days, that's a feedless link, and a feedless link is different, where in a kiosk mode, it basically acts. So you take the survey, it takes the data to the cloud, and then it repopulates the survey. Again, this is not happening purposely. So, and I'll let Peggy talk about that, but everybody has to log in through their LMS to take the survey. You cannot share or use someone else's. It will not work. So everybody in resort ops has been, you're not receiving an email. There's not an email receipt of a survey link, but you're getting to the link through your LMS login. And again, that LMS login information will not be attached to the survey data. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I guess I can just ask Dan, does everyone have their LMS login, or is it?
This is Peggy. I can talk to you about that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so the survey itself is available in 4 languages, and team members can select a language in the top right-hand corner. So it's obviously English, Spanish, Portuguese, Haitian, Creole. The survey is available to take in any kind of device, so desktop, laptop, computer, tablet, smartphone. Just like the guest experience survey, it's adaptable to those different devices. This is a work experience survey, so to be taken at work, not at home. We've tested it. The average time to complete is between 9 and 12 minutes. It depends upon how many open-ended person answers and the robustness of the responses. And those are always optional. Closed-ended questions must be answered. They are not optional. And the survey must be completed in one sitting. I do not want people, it's not, first of all, it's not a long survey anyway. And we definitely don't want somebody starting it and coming back later to try to complete it. Because based on how their day may go, can definitely bias the results. So again, this has to be done at work and in one sitting. Any questions there? So this just gives you a screenshot of the first page of the survey layout. So the first question that comes up is basically a screener question. Have you been employed at Westgate Resort for 6 months or longer? Yes or no? We are pulling the list as of today and making sure we have team members who, based on their service date, will be here at 6 months or longer when the survey fields on June 4th. But for instance, if for some reason say, no, I have not been here 6 months or longer, they click no, they will be redirected to a thank you and terminate page, which is standard practice and research. Select yes, and you go on to the main body of the survey. Additionally, the back button for the fielding of the survey has been made inoperable. We don't want people going back and changing their responses based on a new question. And again, you must hit the submit button once you finish the last question. So again, just focusing, the survey will field on Tuesday, June 4th at 12:01 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll enable everybody out in Vegas, that area, to be able to take the survey at that start time. The first reminder will go out on Friday, June 7th. The second reminder, if needed, will go out on the following Tuesday, June 11th. And then a final email reminder will be sent on Friday, June 14th, saying, hey, everybody, the survey will wrap up on Monday, June 17th. If you haven't had a moment to take it, please take it at this time. For those at the properties, please allow your team members, based on their schedule, to take the survey. When they're there, give them that time to complete it, like we did a couple of years ago. The other thing, I see it, we have it ending on 12:01 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but I think we should really do a.m. so that we give everybody in the East Coast the full day to complete it, just in case. So, but anyway, that's the schedule. Pretty straightforward. I'll turn over to Peggy to talk about LMS.
All right. Before we move on to Peggy, I just want to give anybody an opportunity to ask any questions specifically about the survey. Peggy's going to talk a little bit about how to access the LMS and all the important information we need to know to gain the credential information that our team members will need, again, to access that LMS. But prior to moving forward on that, are there any other questions or items that you have you want to know more about in terms of the survey itself? Okay. All right, then I will turn it over to Peggy, who will show us a little bit more about the LMS.
Hello, everyone. Can you see the intranet page?
Yes.
Okay. So like was mentioned earlier about in this area, there's going to be a new icon that says that you can access the survey from the front page. But there's a couple of things that my new friends at the IT department have helped me put in place. So I wanted to show those to you first. So there is now under your profile, if you are a manager, and this is important because you have to be a manager, and if you have managers under you, these people will have to go in here also. Your direct reports now, if you click on your profile and go all the way down to the bottom, there's a new section called direct reports. If you click on the view button, what this does is it allows you to see all of the people who directly report into you and all of their information. So their usernames are in the first column, first name, last name, employee IDs, and email addresses. So everyone that reports directly to you can be pulled this way. And like I said, if you have managers under you, they will need to go into this area on the internet to pull their direct reports usernames. Everyone has a username. And there's different ways that people that haven't accessed, and all of their passwords are in different levels of changed or have never been used. So the first thing I would suggest you do here is download this. You can export it to Excel, and then you can print this off for use by your admins or for the people to be able to, reference so they know what their login is. So do you have any questions on how to pull their username?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. So now that we have their username, I'm going to take you back to the front of the homepage, and let's say they don't know their passwords now. So this area has been here forever, but we're going to utilize it now. So under support, and then down here under network account self-service, when you click on this, what is this stuff?
Proceed.
Proceed. I don't know why it was doing that. Anyway, this is the page it will come up to. The user, whether they're new, never used it before, they don't remember their password, this will keep them from having to call IT, because you've just given them their username. You're going to say reset password. And when that happens, the person will put in their username and click on continue. And they're going to select to answer these questions, these security questions. When they do that, it's going to prompt them for 3 answers. One is their employee ID, which is also in that report you just printed out. One is their home zip code, and one is the year they started working at Westgate. And it's important to understand that the year that sits in that field is the year if you were rehired, it's that year. If you started 30 years ago, it's going to be that year. It's not month and day, it's just the year. So those are the 3 questions they will have to answer. It will then allow them to set their password right there on the screen. And then you can go back to the front page and access the survey. So you're all sitting on the internal screen. Oh, why that thing is doing that? Do you have any questions with that?
Yeah, and answer this question. But once they have the password, after them to log into the actual domain of the computer or
It's just going to be in the actual survey. They just need a browser to access. So if you have something set up and they don't know their login and password, you can help them get through that piece. But then once you click on this, they're going to use that login and password to log into the LMS. And did you have it up there? Oh, annual survey. Here it is. I'm sending a deep link out. This is the deep link that is actually sitting there. Here, I'll show you.
So for example, the housekeeping manager can have it open, and each person can log in one password username to the actual server.
Well, they're going to set their own passwords to do that. So if they don't know their password, they're going to go ahead and they'll go ahead and reset it. They'll click on the link. They'll be taken over to the LMS, and I'll show you real quick. He happened to be logged in, so let me log out. When they actually click on the link coming from the intranet, it's going to take them to this page. Okay? At this time, they would put in their login and their password. And from the browser, they would click on login, and it would take them then right into the survey. Is there any questions on that?
None so far.
Okay. As a point of clarification, I'll add to Peggy here. The login username and that password is the same as the NIT password that you use every day to log into your computer. And I believe that, Michael, that was the question that you might have been asking. Yes, once they have access to this username and password, they could log in to a computer, but they won't have any rights like you do. That takes additional privileges from IT that's granted using specific forms. But in the basic sense of it, let's say a computer is locked, they can hit Alt Control Delete, use this information, the login,
And access the browser.
Access the browser and click on the LMS and move forward that way.
Yeah, that was my question. I just wanted to make sure that any computer open when they log into the NIT portion.
Right, and they can use the iPads that are out there for the hot sauce and that kind of stuff. They can get in through those, and the kiosks are also being worked right now. I don't want to. So I have a job aid or a quick reference that I created yesterday on going through, finding your username, finding the passwords so they can reset them if they don't know them without calling IT. And then we also have a screenshot of where the survey is going to sit and what it's going to look like. So everybody has a reference point. But we were figuring that probably if you went to do this, you don't know your login and password, it probably would take about 15 minutes to get your username, reset your password, and take the survey.
All right, so that's the end of our webinar. Before we end, I just want to give an opportunity for anyone to ask any specific questions, any other questions they may have. about either the survey or the process of accessing the LMS? Okay, again, just to reiterate some basic points, the survey will be available to everybody starting June 4th. Those team members that have been with the company for at least 6 continuous months of service will have the survey assigned to them within the LMS. Once they're able to log into the LMS, it will already be assigned to them and they can complete it there. Please reiterate the fact that this is a confidential survey. We do not track any information from the user. Once they have accessed a link in our LMS, we're gone, right? We have absolutely no way to track them. The survey is actually hosted by a third party. That's an important point to stress to our team members. Westgate is not hosting the actual LMS. That is hosted by a third party. So we really can't see anything on the back end. We want to make sure that we have accurate and truthful, honest information. So confidentiality is one of those things that we need to stress as much as we can. All right. Well, thank you so much for participating in this webinar. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or to Peggy, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you and have a great day.